Hey, what's going on? It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much for joining me on this beautiful Tuesday. It is December 23rd. I appreciate y'all being here. My goodness, it is almost Christmas time. And as you know, this whole theme, I think as we get kind of warmed up to it, it's kind of been Bama versus the world, right? I mean, can we agree on that inside the comment box? I mean, everywhere that I go, everywhere that I see, all the stuff out there on the news continues to be that Bama shouldn't be here. They don't belong. They're still this underdog, right? And you continue to hear more and more people kind of poke the bear. And I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm like, look, Alabama football, they won this game Friday night. They're going to the Rose Bowl. But there's still so many people that don't believe. And you know what I have to say? It's kind of been nice that, following a team that is now the underdog, because I've never really had that privilege and opportunity, and it gives you a lot of ammo to work with. So I don't know if you heard Ty Simpson on Bussin' with the Boys, but he has a fantastic interview, and he's like pissed off for greatness right now. And I think kind of the theme is right here is this graphic is Bama versus the world. And Coach Kalen DeBoer said that they have had this kind of mentality since really the beginning of the season after they lost against Florida State. Because look, I think as soon as they lost to that Florida State game, absolutely a lot of people just wrote this team off. Didn't think that this team would be here at this point in time. Didn't think that this team would be an Elite Eight type team, right? Well, here they are. Here they stand with an opportunity to go against number one Indiana. So again, they are now the underdog. They were the underdog last week against Oklahoma. I know it was the pick-em, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it was absolutely that Bama was an underdog. They were underdog against Georgia, right? And now they're underdog against Indiana again. And I was thinking about it. The rest of the way, let's say they beat Indiana, depending on if they play Oregon or Texas Tech, I think they'll be the underdog again in that game. Should they survive that game as well, they'll be the underdog against, I would imagine, Georgia or Ohio State. You see what I'm saying? So it's like Bama against the world. So we have a lot of opportunities to see Alabama as the underdog. Hey, do you like being the underdog? Yes or no inside the comment box? I do. I think it's great. And because there's always so much pressure on Alabama, right? They're the team, they're the staple, they're the standard, they're the top brand, all this sort of stuff. So it's kind of been nice being on this other side and having that reverse rat poison to work with. I don't know. That's kind of my starting spot. And Ty Simpson, this is from Bussin' with the Boys. All right. I recommend you check this out. And this is like pissed off Ty Simpson. He's coming in with a lot of swagger, and he has this to say. I'll read it out. Just the narrative of Alabama isn't who they are. They don't have Saban. They don't have the same juice. They don't have the same squad as they used to. To me, it's honestly kind of pissed me off, because why doesn't everybody bring up the past, right? And that's it. Everybody has an absolute standard for Alabama football. And I think a lot of those people who continue to kind of poke the bear probably have Bama fatigue, probably have Bama PTSD from what has happened in the past. And I think that a lot of the people still, in my opinion, have not been brought into this new world of college football, meaning that they don't understand how good the SEC is, meaning that they don't understand how hard the schedule was, right? And meaning that they just don't understand the parity in college football anymore. And I am not saying to lower the standard of every single season, because it is perfection. It is what Indiana has going on right now, right? But that's going to be nearly impossible in my mind and in my opinion to do that in the SEC. The SEC teams are absolutely too good. From top to bottom, that league is loaded, way loaded. In the Big Ten, come on. There's not Michigan State, there's not Maryland, there's not Illinois, a pretender, there's not, all these other teams that, they wouldn't survive in the SEC. And I honestly feel, and I know we probably have some Indiana fans that have been cruising over, and welcome, and definitely call in. We'll have a call-in show tomorrow where you can call in if you're an Indiana fan. It would be, I don't think that Indiana would be undefeated if they played in the SEC this year. They don't. I don't. I think they would have dropped some games. That's just my opinion. That's hypothetical because we can't understand, how they would play because they did, there wasn't a lot of even crossover teams. I think the only team that was kind of a team that we can measure on was like Wisconsin, right? There's not a lot of like crossover teams that Indiana and Alabama played. I'll have to look at the schedule again, but I don't think there were. Like I know they both played Wisconsin, and Wisconsin I thought they were terrible. I really did. I didn't think they were good at all, right? So look, Ty's pissed off. He's feeling it. He's feeling good. And I like this attitude from Ty Simpson. I like a quarterback that isn't afraid to kind of stand on his own ground. And I think Ty Simpson has a lot to play for as well because a lot of people have not only been doubting Alabama, but they have been doubting Ty Simpson, right? I think everybody inside the comment box, at least at one point or another, including myself, has been like, yo, it is like, what do we got going on here, Ty? Right? Are you going to be able to pull it together? And credit to the coaches for still rolling with Ty in the Oklahoma game when they were down 17-0, because that was kind of our worst fear deep down, was that we got into that game and that, you would get down 17-0. We were terrified of that, and that's what happened. And they still rode with him, which tells you, and look, this is just how it's going to be. Coach Kalen DeBoer he's going to ride that quarterback out. And he did that last year with Milroe, and he's doing that this year with Ty. It might not work out. It might make you upset. It might work out. I mean, it worked out against Oklahoma. So, look, he's the coach. That's how he rolls. But for everybody out there that was wondering if another quarterback was going to get to play, no, they're not. It doesn't matter where that quarterback is. It doesn't matter what is going on. This is your quarterback, period. All right, so we're going to ride this quarterback and get behind him. And I know sometimes it's bumpy because there for a while he just wasn't trending well. I would also say, too, though, remember the type of defenses that we're playing. You want to put, Keelan Russell in, a true freshman who has no SEC experience against Oklahoma's defense? How about Austin Mack, who has limited experience as well? I mean, maybe they can get it cooking, but against Oklahoma, against Georgia, I don't know, right? There's more haters, and I talked about these yesterday as well, right? David Pollack, right, who's in the College Football Hall of Fame. He's a college football analyst, right? And he's like, we ain't worried about the A on the helmet. Well, as you know, it's like the numbers are on the helmet, but you get what I'm saying, and you get what he's saying. There's a lot of doubters. There's a lot of haters, and I was thinking about this, and I'll explain why I think this, like, against the world mentality exists probably more than I've ever seen before. Indiana shouldn't fear anybody. I don't know. And I had a quick video that went out in the evening time. Those are shots fired. This type of stuff gets printed and like put inside the locker room. There's a lot of haters out there, and there's a lot of people, including Pollack, including Damian Harris, right? And some other national analysts that I think are deep down Alabama football fans, but they don't think Alabama can win a national title. They don't think Alabama could win the Rose Bowl. They didn't think Alabama could win against Oklahoma in the first round, right? I mean, I think all the national analysts, I think J.D. Pickell picked Bama. Coach Saban, of course, picked Bama, but all the other national guys picked Oklahoma. So does that mean that they're all of a sudden going to pick Alabama to beat Indiana? I don't know. Maybe they have a change of heart. But I just really, this really caught my attention right here. We ain't worried about the A. That's like worried about Alabama anymore. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if you get like Alabama on your schedule or you find out you're playing them in the playoffs. I don't think like, you're like, yeah, we got an easy game, right? I don't think that. I think, like I said on Wake Up Bama, I think people are worried deep down when they get draw Bama. I think they're worried because they understand who's on Alabama's team. They understand, the standard of Alabama football. Dan Caraway with the super chat. Let's see what he has to say. What's up, Dan? Good morning to you, bro. I think our Cali Corners are going to show out at home. Look, that. So you do have some the Cali Corners are going to be tested, all right? And we'll talk tomorrow on Wake Up Bama about Indiana's wide receivers, who I think are stellar. That's going to be one hell of a matchup. Indiana's receivers are ballers, And our defensive backs are ballers, right? That's going to be such a great matchup. I think that like the way that Saban Brown is playing right now, I would say he's one of the best corners in the country. But I'm telling you, who's watched Indiana's receivers? Yeah, I'm an old receiver guy, so I like to watch the wide receivers. Those guys are salty, and they come up with plays and contested catches. Woof, man. Patriot Life in there with the super chat, man. He's like, hate on, right? The A still stands strong. A Patriot Life, I don't choose what color the super chats come in. I think it's hilarious that because Patriot Life loves Alabama more than anything, but his super chat comes in as orange. I don't, if we could eliminate the orange, we would clearly, but I mean, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Q says that the team, that opponents don't fear DeBoer. I think this is probably true, right? What's up, Q? Good to see you, bro. Yeah, I think because he's a different personality, he doesn't come off as like, a big dog alpha. I think that other teams, other fan bases feel that they can kind of push him around because maybe because he's nice, right? He just looks nice. But I don't know. He's been getting heated up on the sidelines. And then you could always go back on his record against top 25 teams, which is what, 20-5? So, yeah, I think people were afraid of Saban just because of like who he was and how he acted, and he's just the man. But I think I think people are like, yeah, DeBoer's soft. We can get to him. But is he soft? I mean, he's nice and he's very friendly to the media. But is he soft? I don't know. I kind of think he's having like this transformation, right? This like metamorphosis, and he's starting to understand. Because look, over here, we don't care if you're mean. We like that, right? We want you to coach hard. We want you to, come out and smack the goalpost. We like that. And I think maybe at first when he got here, he wasn't sure if you could do that sort of stuff. We like that. All right. So Bama versus the world. All right, so a couple points, and then I'll give some AM shout-outs. And I appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much. And if you guys were able to catch Wake Up Bama, really good episode today that you can still watch, throughout the day. What I did was I chopped it up and I put together the audio about the coaching paths and about some of the coaching history, which I found really interesting. Kurt Cignetti, he was with Saban during some incredible years. I love that story that he tells about recruiting Julio Jones. So if you haven't heard it, go back and listen to it. And it kind of gives you a good insight about Kurt Cignetti. I gained a lot more understanding and appreciation for somebody like that. He's been coaching forever. And then, of course, about Coach Kalen DeBoer and his journey, too. So check out Wake Up Bama. It's obviously still available. So the main reasons that I think, Bama versus the world, look, national analysts versus Bama. This is always a massive ratings boost. Anytime you go against the grain, it's popular, right? I mean, Bama is everything ESPN. So anytime like ESPN goes against them, which they really don't, some analysts do, it gets clicks. People watch it because they're sick and tired of Alabama. You imagine being like, if I don't know, who hates Alabama the most? I'm sure there's a lot of people out there. But can you imagine just like always Alabama this, always Alabama that? It just must be so tiring to have to deal with, right? So anytime that you can negatively talk on Alabama, I think it certainly drives ratings, 100%, right? Clearly, Bama fatigue still exists, obviously. I mean, that goes without saying. But I think kind of on the bottom side of all this is the team has certainly embraced this against the world mentality, which makes them a lot more dangerous at this time of year when you have more reverse rat poison. Coach Saban will always talk about when you have people that are always boosting you up, he's trying to get his players to stop reading that stuff. Like, who ate rat poison this year was Florida State. They won one game and they ate all the rat poison and then completely crashed out. So having so much reverse rat poison, I think, helps. And then how about this? 50 Cent came out, right? And I still don't really understand why he was there. Why did he go? Why was he at that game? on Friday night? Like, what was the real story about 50 Cent? And he sang Many Men, right? Everybody knows this, Many Men, right? Everyone knows the song. I don't understand why he was there, but I found it really interesting that after the game, the players said that they play Many Men every single Friday at practice. So Many Men, right, is like the underdog song. Everybody's against you. Everybody wants you dead. So that was like the perfect song. Did they come out and sing it specifically for like Alabama? I have no idea why they, were singing Many Men. But anyways, that's like Alabama's song. So with that said, welcome to today's show. Couple more days away from Christmas. All right, so I have a question for you inside the comment box, all right, as we do our shout-outs. And maybe I'll ask you on Wake Up Bama for your Alabama football Christmas wish list. All right. Or if you could just have like one Christmas gift that was like Alabama associated. And that doesn't mean like a present. That means like something for the team, right? Like that means like a kicker, an offensive tackle, something. I don't know. Be thinking about that. So like your Christmas wish list that is related to like Alabama football. All right, let's see who's up in the crib today as we are at December 23rd. That is so crazy to me. Haunted Syndicate, what's up, man? Merry Christmas or Merry Early Christmas to you. Coach Smith, what's up, bro? Good to see you up in the chat. Bruce Williams, Miss Debbie Hanson. Debbie sent an email and she pointed out that, the first Rose Bowl was 1926. And so 100 years later, we have the Rose Bowl, which is mind-blowing to me, right? Back then, you used to have to take a train from Tuscaloosa all the way out to Pasadena, and now you just hop on the Delta charter and you just get over there. Anita, what's up? I appreciate you being here. Anna, good to see you as well. Max Tooney, thank you so much for kicking it with us this morning. Young C, good morning to you. Patriot Life, already with the good super chat, which I really appreciate it. Alabama Renegade, I say Crystal inside the comment box as well. Mindy Miss Careless. We got Ethan. Thank you very much for being up in here. Someone cornhole. What's up, man? I get on some cornhole with you. Miss Amanda. What's up, Amanda? Good to see you as well. Rocket Town. We have Miss Nicole Covington. Robert Bradley Jr. Good morning to you. And good morning to we got King's Family React as well. Good to see you. What's up, Jay Woo? As well, we got AJ. Man, great crew this morning. I appreciate everybody. Show 44. If I didn't mention you, don't hold it against me. I appreciate all of you guys. And I try to get back to as many people as I can inside the comment box on the videos. So thank you so much for the continued support. Let's see. Rocket Town says, Pasadena, the birthplace of Van Halen. Are you serious? Yo, so I loved going out to Pasadena. All right. I used to live in Los Angeles. But during my time that I lived in Los Angeles, I never went to Pasadena. I just didn't. Like, it's kind of a trek. So when I went out there the last time, went out to Pasadena and thought it was absolutely beautiful, right? Really liked it, enjoyed it. The stadium, super iconic. But what I also did, all right, what I also had to do, and this isn't for everybody, but this was for me, okay, is I made it a point. Who's going to the Rose Bowl? But I made it a point when I was out there that I had to go to East Los Angeles because I wanted to go to I wanted to go to that part and I wanted to go eat some incredible food. I don't even know if you guys are going to know this. This might be way over your head, but one of my favorite movies is Blood In, Blood Out. Do you guys know about this? And it's an old movie. All right, but it took place in like East LA. So I wanted to go up there and hit up like a couple like iconic spots. And I did just that. And I came down, I ate some birria just from like the back of a truck. And it was like amazing food. So if you're into that sort of stuff, East LA might be for you. If not, Pasadena and East LA could not be further, from further worlds apart. But I really enjoyed it. So if you're going out to the Rose Bowl, certainly enjoy it. The Rose Parade. I didn't see that, but my mom said it was amazing. So check it out. And let us know if you're going out to the Rose Bowl. That would be amazing. All right. One of my favorite stories that I'm tracking right now, oh my goodness, is Phillip Rivers. Are you guys watching this? Oh my God. This is a movie. This is literally, we are watching. This is, you know what this is? This is like a Christmas movie. This is our Christmas, this is like a Christmas sports movie. That is really happening. All right. Okay. Those of you in LA, right? You know Phillip Rivers. He's a head football coach at St. Michael's Catholic, right? Fairhope. Then we got Amanda, right? Down in LA. And this is crazy. This is like the craziest story. And I think it's wild. And I bring it to you because for those of my 40-year-old crew, where you at inside the comment box? Can you imagine this guy, 44, is coaching high school football, and your phone rings, right? You're out there fishing or whatever after high school football practice, and you look at your phone, you're like, the Colts. Hello? You know what I'm saying? Imagine how crazy that would be. And I was thinking about this. Imagine how crazy it must have been when he goes like to his wife and he's like, yeah, the Colts called. And she's like, the Colts called? Yeah, they want me to play. She's like, what? Yeah. And she's like, okay, so how much? And he's like, well, $250,000 per game. And she's like, you're playing in these games. So he goes out there because, as you know, he retired in 2020. Have you been following this story? It's crazy. It's a Christmas story. So he retired in 2020, but got called up on December 10th. All right. So his first game was against the Seattle Seahawks. 18 for 27. Not bad. Not a bad outing. 120 yards, whatever. Some of his throws were a little bit rough. Against the Niners, which obviously you know is my squad, last night, tough, tall task going against that defense. Man, he had 120 yards in the first quarter. Okay? So he ended up throwing for 277 and 2 tutties as we continue to track this story. So, man, Phillip Rivers, this is our Christmas football story that we got, taking place right now. So if you like NFL, I know you've been tracking this. Absolutely incredible. I've also been tracking this. This is even more incredible. Coach Saban is responsible for the college football playoffs. Look at this. Isn't this crazy? So let me explain what this is. I don't know if you've seen it. There's a great video going around on social media about Coach Saban's coaching tree. It's fascinating. Look at all these coaches that are in the Elite Eight, right? That are all from Coach Saban's like coaching tree. I mean, could you imagine how extensive it really is? But like right here, this is enough, man. Like it's crazy. That's why I found, on Wake Up Bama, I found it so interesting to just listen to a couple tales from Curt Cignetti. I mean, my goodness. Yeah. So many branches on that tree. You're right, Rocket Sound. So, we'll read some of them out. And this is just the coaches that are in the college football tournament. And I'll tell you why Lane is in there, right? So, Curt Cignetti, right? 2007 to 11. Kirby Smart, of course. Pete Golding. Pete Golding, when he was here, because that's kind of around the time I got here in 2017. So I've seen a few of these guys, right? But Pete Golding was like a defensive coordinator for quite some time here. And I'm telling you, Coach Saban loved Pete Golding. He did. And Pete Golding's mind, because I was able to hear him, a couple different times, it never stopped. It was always football. Sometimes I felt like he over-explained things a little bit too much. But recently, listening to Coach Golding as he's taken over as the head man, it seems like he's really grown up, which I'm really happy for. And he seems kind of like a team person more than kind of like an individual guy. You have Kirby Smart up there. I would say probably right now the top coach in college football, right? Mario Cristobal, Curt Cignetti, Dan Lanning. And then I threw on Lane Kiffin because he did coach Ole Miss. And he clearly worked it out in his contract, which was genius. Oh, every single time that you win a game, don't you get like $250,000? He's getting that bonus from Ole Miss, or LSU is paying him that. So for that first round victory, Golding got a bonus, and so did Lane Kiffin. Pretty crazy to see what Coach Saban's been able to do, even after as he's gone on. And Miss Terry said that all these are his babies. And she was like, do you remember when she said this? She was like, I don't want to come back and, take away opportunities from our babies to win national championships. It's probably going to be a former Saban guy, if not Coach Kalen DeBoer, to win the national championship, right? So, man, what a extensive coaching tree that this is under Coach Saban, right? Who has, let's see, Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart's got to have the best odds, I would imagine, to win the Natty. Yeah. Because I think Miami probably loses. Oregon will lose. Indiana, I have them losing. So, yeah, I'm going with and I think Kirby will beat Pete Golding. All right. I don't know if you saw this yesterday. I put out a quick video, kind of news as it happens, right? And this was regarding LT Overton. So LT Overton, this is a quote from Coach Kalen DeBoer, and I did play this on Wake Up Bama, and maybe you saw this, but he said this: LT Overton, we just continue to monitor him, definitely not ruling him out right now, but we'll continue to evaluate him and see how things go here in the days ahead. I thought this was a very positive. This was probably the most positive update that we've had on LT Overton, right? And I think a lot of it is just him saying that they're not ruling him out at this point in time. Because previous to this, any update regarding LT Overton, it was kind of like left without anything. It was just kind of like illness. There was never like, I see this as a positive update. And for those of you asking about Tim Keenan or about Red Morgan, those guys are good to go as well. So Lance says LT is out until I hear otherwise. Yeah, and I think that's what, Coach Saban or Coach Kalen DeBoer is saying right here, is that you're just going to have to evaluate him. And I've heard all the rumors as well. I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I didn't hear, that I haven't heard the rumors. I hear the same stuff that you have. I've heard blood clots. I heard that he punched someone, right? Like, you've heard all that stuff. I see it too. It's like everywhere, right? So, but he said that he's not counting him out, so I'll take it as a positive. So we'll continue to keep track on that, and hopefully he comes back. But I do have to say this, okay? That the guys behind him, specifically this young man, what have you thought about Keon Keeley? I thought he's been playing fantastic, and he showed so much athleticism. Look, LT, he's done a great job here, for sure. And I like his game. And, yeah, do we want him to come back? Do we want him to be healthy? Obviously. This guy right here is ready to go. And I like Jordan Renard too, right? So that's why I feel that Alabama's defense next year is going to be better than even right now, which is crazy to say because Alabama's defense is fantastic, right? Yeah, everybody keeps saying this regarding LT Overton, is that he had a respiratory issue and then he got blood clots. But none of that has been confirmed. There hasn't been one validated source that has come out and said that. So that's why you just keep saying illness. And of course, Kalen DeBoer can't tell you what it is because of HIPAA violations. So he just keeps saying illness. And I'm sure they have a think tank of lawyers and people to come up with that wording because they're just say illness. And that way, it just covers everything. Have you guys been impressed with Keon Keeley? I mean, even watching him drop into coverage, because remember, when he came here, when Keon Keeley came here, he came here as an outside backer. But then he put on, 25 pounds or something like that? So 31 has done an amazing job. I think he's absolutely ready to go. So if LT Overton can't go, or if he's done for the year or whatever it is, which I still have no idea, and we'll wait on that, I just think that Keon Keeley will be able to 100% get the job done. Love to see it. Absolutely baller. Coach Kalen DeBoer was also asked about Xavier Brown. Man, this guy. Xavier Brown, I mean, he started every single game since he's got here, right? He plays the hardest position, I think, in college football, at least on the defensive side. He comes up with so many clutch plays. He had the pick six against Tennessee. He had the pick six against Oklahoma, right? Even last year when he was a freshman, he came up with a big interception against Georgia. A thumbs up for Saban Brown. I mean, has he turned into one of the best corners in the country? That's why I said, like, someone inside the comment box, I think it was Dan Caraway, said that they're excited about the Cali corners because he's from California going against Indiana. I think that these matchups, the Alabama corners versus Indiana wide receivers, are going to be NFL-type matchups. Super, super impressive young man. You know, and I think even in the beginning of the season, I was curious to see if he could hold down that corner spot because you had Dejon Lee coming in. Who would have thought that it would be Dejon Lee taking Damani Jackson's spot? And though, look, Damani Jackson still plays as well. I don't think anyone's like lost their overall spot, but they have 3 corners that they can certainly rotate in. But Saban Brown doesn't rotate. This is the guy. This is like the dog. And I keep on telling you about Alabama's secondary next year. Saban Brown will be a starter. Dejon Lee will be a starter. Red Morgan, I would imagine, is a starter. You have Jordan Edmonds coming in. Jariah Edwards coming in. Bray Hubbard, I would imagine he comes back. And Keon Tabb comes back. Zay Mincy, Drake Kirkpatrick, whenever he gets, things settled with that off-the-field stuff. That is one ridiculous secondary. Plus, you got Mo Linquist coming back, coaching them, along with Jason Jones. Man, that should be 100% the best secondary in the country, right? So we will track that as we come in. I got a new camera. So I'm trying to still like mess with all like the settings and stuff like that, but it has like a tracking sensor on it, and I think if I do this, it like tracks me. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's tracking, but I don't like the way it's tracking. Let me see if I can fix it real quick. I'll just continue. But Saban Brown, this was the quote that he had. All right. Saban Brown has been, you can tell, call it right place, right time, but I think you make your own breaks too. And there's times where you happen to be in the right spot, but there's also times where you put in the footwork in, and I've seen him do the film study, right? Yeah, I'm at Epcot, Max Tooney. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Good point out. Yep, live from Epcot Center, right? Anybody been on what's that? Is it Cosmic Rewind? That was probably my funnest ride that I've ever been on. All right, here's the college football bracket, courtesy of North Alabama Storm Chase. The playoffs are set. You got some really big games. I've kind of determined that Oregon and Texas Tech is the game that I'm most interested in. Outside of Alabama and Indiana, clearly. I'm interested in all the games. Ole Miss and Georgia is a rematch. I think it'll be great. And then I think Miami in Ohio State. I just feel Ohio State's going to do what they want with Miami, but who knows? You know, it was interesting, and it was pointed out, I think, to Coach Caitlin DeBoer yesterday, and I had forgotten about this, but all of the teams that won in the first round also won in the quarterfinal, right? And I get it. Like last year's playoffs were even stranger because you had, Boise? Who else got a bye? Oh, it was Boise and Arizona State. They had byes as well. But the number 1 seed, I was thinking about this too, fam, right? The Boise State, the number 1 seed lost as well, right? Yeah, because Oregon lost to Ohio State. Is that right? Wouldn't that be crazy if a number 1 seed loses in back-to-back games? All right. James Parker with a super chat. Appreciate it. And he says, Ty is resilient and will not back down. When he got into the face of Thomas, he's going to the Rose Bowl for the 4th time. Love it. Yeah, his resiliency as a person, as a player, this guy's been doubted. And when you're the Alabama quarterback, I mean, you're going to face so much criticism because That's just, that comes with the territory. And the quarterback position is never going to be perfect. And ever since I have covered Alabama football, the backup has always been better, right? I mean, that's just how it's been until you really get going. But every single time that I've covered the team, the backup has been better. Tua was better than Jalen, right? And maybe that turned out to be the case. People in the preseason wanted Bryce to start over Mac Jones when he had never played before. Mac Jones went out and had the best season that any quarterback's ever had. Now, right? Let me ask you this. You don't have to answer, but just be thinking in my head, okay? Be thinking in your head. Is Keelan Russell better than Ty Simpson? Is Austin Mack better than Ty Simpson? I think there's a lot of people that think so. Last year, was Ty Simpson better than Jalen Milroe? The backup quarterback is always better. And this is going to be weird to say it, right? But I don't like that tracking. But there's going to be at some point in time, okay? At some point in time, there will be a time where you have Jet Thamala that is better than Keelan Russell. Now, I know how it is. It's weird to think that way, but that's how we are. The backup quarterback is always better. I know. We go through this all the time. It's been this way the entire year. The backup quarterback is always better, right? Keelan's better than Ty, right? I'm not saying it myself. I'm just asking you. It's wild. So, but that's how people feel. I think people feel out there that Alabama is not playing its best quarterback. I'm not saying that, and I'm sure, because you know how it is for me. I hate every quarterback. I get so much feedback that I hate Ty Simpson. I get so much feedback that I hate Keelan Russell. I get so much feedback that I hate Austin Mack. The backup's always better, period. It's going to be like that forever, especially here at Alabama, right? All right, fam, as you know, this video powered by Sleeper. Get a $100 deposit match up to $100. Use the promo code, which is tailgate. You get $20 by just downloading the app. And if you were like me last night, fantasy football was good to you because I have most of the 49ers on my team, including George Kittle, Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey. On a different team, I have Juwan Jennings. So my fantasy football team right now is absolutely killing it. I'm in the championship in each of my leagues for next week. So my teams have been good. They're finally healthy, and we're absolutely cooking. So you can play fantasy football, or you can make more or less picks on Sleeper. Remember that promo code when you download the app is tailgate. Please support Sleeper as they support me. All right. This is interesting, and I'm going to talk more about this on Wake Up Bama on Wednesday, all right? Oh, man, the transfer portal. The transfer portal will open up at the beginning of January, right? What is it, the 1st or the 2nd? And Coach Kalen DeBoer was asked about it. And think about this, from the teams, and this is still broken in college football, because we have Elite Eight teams that are playing on the 31st or the 1st, and then the transfer portal opens up, I think, on the 2nd, right? So, look, we went through this the last time that we were at the Rose Bowl. We were out there, and then remember when they lost, how many players hit the transfer portal thereafter? It was crazy. There was like that day where 7 hit and then 5 hit or something like that, remember? I was reporting from like the beach. Coach Kalen DeBoer was asked about kind of balancing that transfer portal and the bowl season. He said, look, the reality of that time coming when the portal does, we've been open. I think that's how we've been able to retain a lot of our roster at different times, at different levels over the last year and a half or 2 years, right? Courtney Morgan, Alabama's general manager, spoke about retention. And you're going to have to get used to this because I'm sure you're going to start seeing it. Alabama re-signed this player. Alabama re-signed Ryan Williams, highest paid wide receiver ever. Alabama re-signed Isaiah Horton. Alabama re-signed Bray Hubbard. It's not, players aren't going to just announce that they're coming back anymore. It's going to be they restructure their contract to come back. And if that player doesn't come back, more than likely they couldn't figure it out in terms of a financial agreement, so that player goes somewhere else. I get it. I mean, Texas A&M is already announcing that they're re-signing players. This is a real thing. And you're out there and you're like, oh, man, like really re-signing? The players aren't just coming back. I'm coming back to finish out my degree. No. They're coming back because they got paid more money. And that's it. I mean, people are going to be really excited when they see that Alabama has re-signed Lazier Brooks. People are going to have a lot to say when they see that Alabama has re-signed Ryan Williams, right? So there's going to be a lot of guys that are re-signed, and, you know, the transfer portal is going to happen. The one thing I will say, though, is Alabama isn't broke. They're going to pay the right players, and I think they already feel that they have the right players on the roster, right? Like, if they didn't have the right players on the roster, they probably wouldn't be here. This next quote that I'm going to show you was probably the biggest home run I think that has ever been said about the college football transfer portal. This is like so spot on, and I hope this catches more wave, because right now the people that are getting the most notoriety are the people that are swinging from school to school, and clearly now I don't know if they don't have buy-in, but let's look at this quote. Kirby Smart had this to say. It's a lot to chew on, so I'll go full screen. Everybody's announcing what they're doing. I'm announcing that I'm going into the portal. I'm announcing that I'm re-signing. How about you announce that you're getting better and that you're going to practice like actually like the past 30, like 20 and 30 years of college football players did before you, which was practice in December when they're on good teams and getting better. Don't you think it's kind of like most of those players who are like announcing and all this other sort of stuff, they're not on good teams, right? The players that are in development are on good teams. You don't need to announce anything. If you're on a good team, we know you're on a good team because you're playing on a bowl, right? Like you're playing in an elite bowl. But everybody is about, and then it's announcing, and then it's about re-announcing. That's why I think it's so stupid. Like recruiting, it's exhausting. And I think you commit, you decommit, you recommit. And the way that it's doing it is because the players like to get spoken about. Because right now, this is where we're at. Now you're not talking about the signees anymore because they're already signed. But you commit, you decommit, you announce your top 12, you announce your top 8, you announce your top 6, you announce your top 4. You say, okay, it's down to these 2 schools, and then you have a commitment ceremony, and then you push back the commitment ceremony, and then you have the 2 hats, and then something happens, and you can't figure out where you're going to go, and then you commit, and then you decommit. You see what I'm saying? It's recruiting is it's terrible. It's not, and I think it's more about transfer portal now than about those lower level pieces, because let's face it, how long are these players even going to be here? At Alabama, they have done a pretty good job with retention, but I think, like Kirby's right. You're announcing, but you're already on a good team here in December. I thought this was like a hell of a soundbite. I'm going to probably cut it as a smaller video later on, because I think it was just like absolute home run. How do you feel about pretty soon Alabama starting to announce that they're going to re-sign players? I don't know if they will for sure. They're probably thinking about it. They have like I'm sure they have like a PR team. They're trying to figure out, is this the best way to put this out? I don't know. I mean, you're re-signing players. Are we in the pros? Yes, we're in the pros. Nobody's like, I'm coming back to finish my degree. Can you imagine like all the college, right? Imagine being in college and announcing, I'm coming back for my junior year to finish up my degree. Your family would be like, so like, get the degree and shut up. All right. So let's real quick look at the roster. I'm not trying to, I just want to look at the roster real quick in terms of where we're at. Okay. You inside the comment box, just have in your mind, oh, maybe these are players that can go to the transfer portal. I don't know. Let's just look at the roster, okay? And I have another graphic, too, that shows all the players that are signed. But this is where we are at this point in time. So at quarterbacks, you have 3 quarterbacks. Coach Kalen DeBoer said he wants 5 scholarship, okay? So you got Jet Damala and you got Taden Kahua. That's 4. I'm willing to bet that they put John Gazaniga on scholarship. Actually, they can put whoever they want on scholarship because now you have 105 scholarships. That doesn't mean they're going to use them all, but they can put whoever they want on scholarship, okay? And Ty Simpson is going to go to the NFL, okay? Shocker. For those of you that think he might come back or are worried that he might, he's not. He's going to the NFL. He hasn't announced it, but he's not coming back. I promise you. He's not. There would be no reason for him to come back. Running backs. All right, here's all your running backs. I'll put them up on the full screen. There's probably, I would imagine that a running back hits a transfer portal. Let's do it this way. Will a running back into the transfer portal from this room? Yes or no? You don't have to say who it is, but do you think a running back hits the transfer portal? I'd say yeah. You're going to lose Jam Miller and you're going to lose Jalen Washington. I think they lose a running back here. You got 2 running backs coming in, right? So I think you lose a running back. Xavier Crowell's coming in. Trayshawn Brown, right? The receivers. I mean, I'll ask it this way for the wide receivers. Do you get a transfer portal wide receiver to come in? Because I know everybody out there, and I know there's videos and social media stuff that Cam Coleman and Malcolm Simmons are already on the team. They're not. They're not even in the transfer portal. With that said, Alabama did just get Auburn's offensive coordinator as their wide receiver coach, and Derek Nix. So do you think that Alabama gets a wide receiver or 2 from the transfer portal? Oh, man. I would say, I guess it kind of seems like these Auburn targets kind of seem like it would make sense. But I look at the room, and I have a big question on Isaiah Horton. Does he come back? I kind of feel that Isaiah Horton comes back. So you lose Bernard, but everybody else could come back. So, okay, you want Cam Coleman coming in. You want Malcolm Simmons coming in. Let's just say you put on Cam Coleman, and I ask this frequently, and I think it's really interesting to think about. Okay, you bring on Cam Coleman, and let's say Isaiah Horton decides to return, right? Which wide receivers play? In this set, in this offense, 3 wide receivers get the majority of the play because 5 wide here is a tight end and a running back. They do not go a true 5 wide with 5 wide receivers. Very seldomly are 4 wide receivers out on the field. They play 3 wide receivers in this offense. So next year, you're going to have Ryan Williams, Isaiah Horton, and who? Cam Coleman? You're going to put Sadarian Morgan on the bench? You're going to put Lazier Brooks on the bench? I think I recently saw something that Isaiah Horton was a second-round guy. I just don't know if he's gone or not. Yeah, I mean, maybe they can re-sign him, for like what? $1 million, maybe $2 million, a 1-year deal for what, $2 million? It'd be crazy to see how much these guys are paid. That would be outrageous. You imagine if they lifted up the hood and they showed Ryan Williams is getting paid $17 million or something like that? I have no idea how much any of these guys are paid. You would think that you could find out because it's a public university, but you can't. But you can with professors and coaches. Maybe we will in the future. That's going to be wild to see, right? You'd be like, no way, that dude is making $12 million a year? Okay, so, Derek Meadows, is he going to start next year? Jalen Mbakwe, what are they going to do with him? That's what I'm saying. If you bring in a transfer wide receiver or two, who's not going to, like, who are you going to sub out? You think Ryan Williams starts next year? I think so. Ryan Williams is like their main celebrity guy. And it'll just take one game for him to, catch a couple touchdowns, and we'll just be rolling with him again. I don't know. Last report on Ryan was $2.7 million. And I don't know if like the university is paying him or if that's from like his like NIL deals, right? Because that's separate from what the university is paying him. Because you have like the university, whatever they're paying, and then your NIL stuff. Offensive line, right? Oh, and I think for like people who are like wondering about why are you wondering about the payment is because the fans are paying the players. Don't you want like a return on your investment? When Greg Burns like, hey, we need money, and you're like, here, just take it. You're like, well, what are you paying for? Offensive linemen. I don't have all the offensive linemen, but here's kind of a snapshot of most of the starters. Jaden Roberts, man, he just never played. He ended up not playing this year, which is wild. He played a little bit in this last game. I think he played, like 3 snaps or something like that. You're going to lose Parker Brailsford comes back, actually. Parker Brailsford comes back. Caden Proctor leaves. Formby's back. Michael Carroll's back. You actually got a pretty good nucleus of offensive linemen coming back. I mean, I just think there's no way that you get Caden Proctor back, right? Holy cow. Jarvis, dog. Whoa, bro. Jarvis with a little Christmas spirit. Holy cow, Jarvis. Man, what's good, Jarvis? Oh, my goodness. Jarvis says this is the $100 super chat. Crazy. Indiana are favored over Alabama in football. I know. It's crazy, right? Wow, how times have changed. Last night I hit for $8K on Prize Picks. Oh, my goodness. Are you kidding me? That is crazy, Jarvis. Yo, that is wild. Jarvis, give it up for Jarvis, man. Spreading the Christmas cheer around. 8K on Prize Picks. That is crazy. Wow. Man, what a hit, man. That's crazy, Jarvis. Congratulations, bro. That's a big scoop for you, man. Wow. Jarvis is real. Me and Jarvis, look, we got to know each other over the last couple of years. He's always my stats guy. He's always inside the stats, and appreciate it, Jarvis. You're a real one for sure, bro. Thank you so much for the super chat. Holy cow. Spreading the love, man, which I really appreciate. Holy cow, that's a monster super chat on the Tuesday morning show. 8K, man, where you going? Yo, you know what? 8K is like Bahama money, bro. You doing a little something for the New Year's, man? Holy cow! Don't forget about us over here, dog. Man, you going to the Rose Bowl? Is that where you're going? Man, that's wild. All right, thank you, Jarvis. I appreciate it, bro. Holy cow! All right, defensive linemen. We got a majority of the defensive linemen on here. I'll have another graphic with the players that I've signed as well as we get forward, kind of to the new year. Tim Keenan will go. You have, God, a bunch of these guys are coming back. Wow, all of these guys are coming back. James Smith, Jeremiah Beeman will be healthy. Kelvin Collins, I think he's healthy right now. I need to update that. Edric Hill, Faga, and Boomwa, and London Simmons. Wow, man. The entire defensive line comes back. Besides, losing Keenan will be big. He's a guy. I mean, that's a tall guy to replace. Who was looking good, though, was Jeremiah Beeman before he got banged up. But everybody returns from the defensive line. Wow. The wolf position. Okay, you're going to lose Ja Latham. All these guys return, too. That's why, fam, I'm telling you, the defense is everybody's coming back. The only guys that are leaving on the defensive side, the only is this position right here, the inside backers. These 3 right here, these guys, they have their masters, right? So if you put your hand over, right, these guys, as you could see, just not a lot of experience right here. That's why. Does it make sense, fam? Is this completely like out of line? Is there any way that Quay Rusaw, I've been talking about this a couple times. Is there any way that Quay Rusaw right here, that you put him as an inside backer for next season? Or do you go to the transfer portal? And look, maybe you don't go to the transfer portal. I don't know. But you're losing 3 vets. You would think you bring on at least 1 veteran into the room. What do y'all think? B-Rob, your 49ers beat my Colts. Yo, but the Colts are good. They're good. I get it. The quarterback position, it's been tough. I love Phillip Rivers. Jonathan Taylor's a dog. 49ers are they're peaking at the right time. So I don't know. You think they take a transfer inside linebacker here, fam? Be thinking about that. So now when I see like transfer portal news, I'm always like, oh, is that an inside backer? There was an inside backer yesterday that went in the portal from A&M. Just something to keep tabs on. All right, we got the Cali corners, right? Damani, he'll take off. You got Xavier Brown coming back, Dejon Lee, Chuck. All these guys are from Cali, right? Yeah, all of them are from Cali. Chuck McDonald, Dejon Lee, Xavier, yeah, Damani. Wow, that's wild. Yeah, we had talked about that before, but still. You put your hand over Damani, look at the guys coming back, right? And the safeties. Okay, do these guys come back? Yes or no? Inside the comment box, do Keon Sabb and Bray Hubbard, did they come back? I'm going to say yes, right? I mean, Bray Hubbard, I think, was like a third-team All-American, and he's like absolutely the guy. But I think that Alabama, look, if Alabama wants to retain anybody or re-sign anybody, I hope they re-sign Bray Hubbard. J. Cole say no. Oh, wow. So you guys don't think so? Bray can leave. Man. So it sounds like we might be a little bit split on the safeties. I guess I might be trying to be a little bit selfish and hoping that these guys stay, right? I mean, if they do, you got your entire secondary back. If they both leave, then you kind of look to, okay, Zay Minty, Ivan Taylor. They have been playing Ivan Taylor a lot. Lance is saying if top 3 rounds go to the NFL, 100%. Yep, that's Saban always said that. It makes so much sense. I don't know. And then the kickers, I guess we got to update this little graphic, 65%, because I think he's better than that now. But you return everybody besides your punter. Oh, so that, fam, and I think we have Alex Osperov, so maybe you take a punter as well, right? And Broderick's, he'll get info on Bray. All right, cool. That's what's up. Yeah, it's a good family down there for sure. So, family, that's our Tuesday show. I just wanted to kind of show you the roster as we start thinking about, transfer portal and roster management. I would imagine that Alabama, they definitely will go into the portal for a couple pieces, but retention has been promising here. You're going to lose some guys for sure, but I don't think it'll be anything overwhelming. I think you'll bring some in that'll elevate the team. But I think that next year's team will be even better than this year's team. It's just the schedules are always challenging, and that's just how it's going to be. Hey, Lynn Shanifield, what's up, man? He's saying Rico Scott, Jalen Hell, and Mbakwe all to hit the portal. That'll be interesting in how fans react to some of that news, right? Because I think fans certainly wanted Jalen Mbakwe. He's an in-state guy. They love Rico Scott. They have an appreciation for how Jalen Hell came back, but the writing might be on the wall for some of those guys. I don't know. Daria is asking about Red Morgan. Red Morgan will be back next year for sure. I think he'd probably be a starter at that Husky position. So Red Morgan, he's had a fantastic year this year. He had you talk about like glow up. Yeah, absolutely for sure. All right, fam. Well, I appreciate you guys. I'll catch you guys inside the comment box. News as it happens, so I'll be posting videos. I want to cut a couple different, cuts to get them up on the Facebook channel or right here on YouTube. And then, of course, Wake Up Bama at 4 in the morning. So I really appreciate you guys for being here all the time inside the comment box or as news happens. I hope you guys are having a very enjoyable holiday season. If you're off from work, if you're home, whatever it is, I hope that you're just enjoying it and soaking it all in, because there's a lot of other fan bases that are playing in like the Pop-Tart Bowl or whatever it is. So you're playing in the Rose Bowl, right? And there's some major college football to continue to track as we go forward. So thank you so much for kicking it with me. If you like the content, hit the thumbs up inside the comment box. If you see like corrections that need to be updated on the screen, just let me know inside the comment box. It's okay. It's not my, I make mistakes and it's cool. We'll correct them and it's all good. Special thanks to Jarvis today for hooking us up with that $100 super chat, which is wild. And once again, congratulations for him to hitting on that 8K, man. You're going to find Jarvis in either the Bahamas or at the Rose Bowl sitting next to the president, man. Right? Shoot, that's absolutely crazy. Good for you, Jarvis. We love you, bro. All right, one more time, coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama on this beautiful Tuesday, December 23rd. Fam, it is 70 degrees right now. It's 70. Yo, Christmas is supposed to be cold. 70 degrees. And I think I saw on Christmas Day over here, it's going to be like 81. Crazy. All right, fam. Stay cool if you can on this beautiful holiday season. I'll catch you news as it happens or at 4 a.m. on Wake Up Bama. Thanks for kicking it in, fam. I love you. I appreciate it.